What's up, everybody? It's your boy Corey, aka GQ Saint, here another reaction video. This is going to be another very common video, such as the origin of the Eternals. Right, basically, right now, the Eternals are supposed to be the part of the Phase 4, the Marvel movie franchise, what they're working on right now. It sounds kind of interesting. Could be interesting. Believe it or not, we got our first taste of Eternal from Thanos, actually. For those who don't know, I did some research on Thanos. I kind of found out both his parents are Eternals, but he inherited a certain gene from another race. That's why he kind of looks like that. So he's kind of a mutant version of his race. Anyway, don't want to bore you guys. Let's go on and hop into the video. Let's get it. Let's get it.
What's
I
up, my
like that
comic
intro.
comrades? First and foremost, yes,
I'm gonna
I'm
start
wearing
with the intros
glasses.
for
You guys
my
are not
video
used
if
to
I
it,
need
but
to.
my eye's bothering me today and I didn't want to put contacts in. Anyway, if you're not
And
aware,
there,
The
I
Eternals will
wear
be one of the movies
contacts.
kicking off Phase
These get
4
some
of the
glasses. Gotta wear
MCU.
glasses
We
at
even have
night.
Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown and Tomb Raider herself, Angelina Jolie,
Okay,
attached to be a
Angelina.
part of the movie.
I
And I'm
see.
sure later this week we'll get more news about the movie during Marvel's panel at San Diego Comic-Con. But the big question is, who the heck are the Eternals? Much like the Guardians of the Galaxy before they had a popular film franchise, not many people knew who they were and what they're all about. But fret not, friends, that's what Variant is here for, to put some more nerd knowledge in your brainicus. With that said, the Eternals first appeared in the Eternals issue 1 in July of 1976. They were created by the one and only Jack the King Kirby,
Jack Kirby.
the god himself of comic books. That's right, the Eternals were Kirby's baby. He was the sole creator of the characters, writing and illustrating their first volume of stories. And any true comic book fan knows that means this comic book
Jack
series is
Kirby
gold.
definitely
I mean,
rest
it's from the
in peace,
king.
Sam.
But getting into their
Respect.
origin and who they are, the quick answer would be the Eternals are pretty much an evolutionary offshoot of the human race who live on Earth and possess superpowers. They also have an eternal lifespan, hence the name Eternals. They first came into existence millions upon millions of years ago, when the Celestials, an ancient race of cosmic gods, were like, we're gonna go to Earth and perform genetic experiments on the life forms there because they're weaker than us, so why the heck not? Speaking of, we definitely have to do an episode on the Celestials pretty soon, because not only did they already
Those of
appear
you
in the
don't know, I
MCU during
did
Guardians of the
already
Galaxy and they looked
the
ripped right out of the
video of the
comics,
Celestials
they're
about
also
their
literally
origin.
responsible for mankind's potential to
There's
gain
basically
superhuman powers
numerous,
in the Marvel
numerous
Universe.
different
They're
types
also
of
responsible
origins
for
they
creating
came
multiple
up
other
with.
races
We don't
and
know
life
which one's
forms
the right one,
in
but
said
let's
universe,
go
like the
get
Skrulls, for instance.
continue
What I'm
watching.
saying is, they're kind of super important to Marvel. Anyway, on to how the Celestials created the Eternals. As the Eternals issue 1 states, it all began with the coming of the gods to Earth, when it was populated only by the beasts of the field. Still, it was the presence of life which drew these cosmic beings to this planet. The comic goes on to say, it was then that they proceeded with their mission. They chose to change the destiny of a life form new to the evolutionary chain, the ape. So those dang bullies, the Celestials, trapped the specimen
Basically
and
just
took it
catch an
alive
ape
to
and start
experiment
doing
on. And this
experiments on
next
it.
part is crucial as it's
Interesting.
literally the beginning of the human race for the Marvel Universe.
bully.
Once they began experimenting on the ape, the comic says, only the instruments of the gods could do what was done in that momentous time. The ape was given the cosmic chemistry that would father the races to come. And boom, because of this, the evolutionary process was changed and the Dawn ape became the common ancestor to 3 powerful new species. First, we have the Deviants, an ever-changing and destructive failure which is structurally unstable. Each new generation of the Deviants appear in new and monstrous ways. They're also all about constant war. Then we have the humans. Since we're all human, we clearly know what that's about, but I'm gonna give you Marvel's breakdown anyway. The human is a species bred with true balance and structure and disposition. Although he was a destroyer, the human was capable of building for peace. His kind was destined to inherit the earth, he belonged to it. And then of course we have the Eternals, the reason for this episode. The Eternal was more of a child of the gods than of the earth, as he reached for the universe. The Eternals bred few in number and were immune to time and death. Like the gods, they lived apart from all other living beings. Now that gives us how the Eternals were created, as well as the Deviants and humans. But now you might be saying, we know the humans took over the majority of the earth, but where do the Eternals come in? Well, the Eternals took to the highest mountaintops. They probed the universe with their minds and soon developed superpowers which surpassed those of all other life on Earth. Because of this, they were regarded with awe and fear. As for those curious about the Deviants, they took to the Earth's inner depths, where they were constantly figuring out how to create new weapons. In fact, several of Earth's terrifying myths were inspired by clashes with the Deviants. And that, my friends, is how the Eternals came to be, but you also get a bonus backstory of how the Deviants and humans came to be in the Marvel Universe. Another fun fact, for those of you who didn't know, Thanos is actually part of the Deviant race, meaning
Yeah, like I said, fun fact, both of Thanos' parents are Eternals, yet he looks like that. It's said in some research he inherited the gene because there's still trace of other different races within the gene. I just want to throw that fun fact. Let's go on and get back into it.
The Eternals movie will probably have Thanos in it, or at least reference him. As for some prominent
I kind of
members of
hope
the
he
Eternals, some would
he's in
include
it.
Icarus, Cersei, Ajax, Domo, and Makari. Now, obviously, there's a lot more I could say about the Eternals, but we're gonna save that when we give them a history of episode when we get closer to
Yeah,
the
just
movie,
an
as we're
origin,
not
a
exactly
complete
sure what
history.
Marvel's gonna do with them in the MCU, so we might even do like single character episodes on Icarus and Cersei and whatnot. But we at least wanted to give you guys a head start on their origin and creation, as again, there's likely gonna be a lot of reveals and
That's
discussion
trash.
about the characters and their upcoming movie at the Marvel Hall H panel this coming Saturday. But before I wrap this up, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about their powers and abilities because why not? The Eternals' cells contain cosmic energy which they can blast through their eyes and hands. They're also able to maintain constant mental control over every molecule in their body, which is impressive because that means they're literally in control of every aspect of their being down to their own molecules. Like their name implies, they are virtually immortal. They could be restored back to life even if their molecules in their bodies were scattered across the earth. So they're just a little bit more advanced than us humans. All of the Eternals also possess the abilities of
little.
super strength, flight, telepathy, illusion casting, teleportation, and transmutation of organic and inorganic matter. Not to mention they can create force fields and have accelerated healing. They're quite literally the human representation of a god. And lastly, we're going to leave you with some reading recommendations. So check out the Eternals Volumes 1 and 2 by the great Jack Kirby,
I'd love
Eternals
to
to
see that
Slay a
fight.
God, Eternals Manifest Destiny, and Eternals by Neil Gaiman. That should be enough to get you all started. That does it for today's episode, my comic comrades, but if you're looking
Pretty good, interesting video. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. It showed me what to expect if I didn't know the Marvel Phase 4 franchise when Eternal movies coming out. 'Cause I know they're already started filming right now. Anyway, we'll saw how this all turns out. I hope it's great. Anyway, make sure you drop a like, comment, and you have any special requests for me to react to a certain video, just drop a comment or send me DM me, whatever. Anyway, make sure you give a boy a subscribe. Have a nice day. Peace.